Jay Leno owns 180 vehicles and 110 motorcycles in a massive 140,000 square foot garage. He used a $30 million car as a tow truck, rebuilt a car using a World War II engine, and got a $3.5 million Lamborghini completely free. Some people say his collection is worth $50 million, while others say $100 million. Today, we go inside the wildest 25. 1996, Mazda Miata. The best-selling sports car in history almost never happened. A journalist named Bob Hall sketched the idea on a chalkboard at Mazda headquarters. His sketch was terrible. The head of R&D basically shrugged and said, "Okay." 2 years later, they actually built it. When it launched in Japan in 1989, Mazda expected to sell 200 to 300 cars a month. They sold 2,000 to 4,000. Nobody saw that coming. Jay owns one and has had it for years. He calls it one of the most acoustically tuned cars ever made because Mazda literally engineered how it sounds to feel like a sports car. When you own a McLaren F1 and still drive a Miata for fun, that tells you everything. 1954, Dodge Coronet Suburban Wagon. Jay saw this at a car show and just could not walk away. No logical reason. He just liked the way it sat, which is honestly how most of Jay's financial decisions seem to work. It has 241 Red Ram Hemi, 150 horsepower, 3,400 pounds, zero safety equipment. He calls it a beer can. Inside there is a vintage child seat that would launch a kid through the windshield under hard braking, and a wolf whistle from the J.C. Whitney catalog meant to attract women. It did not attract women, but it is period correct, which apparently matters more. The steering wheel is so large, Jay compares it to the world's largest dinner plate. 1963, Chrysler Turbine Car. In Mexico, they ran it on tequila. In Paris, they ran it on Chanel No. 5 perfume. Any flammable liquid worked. Chrysler built 55 in 1963, gave 203 Americans one each for 3 months, got brilliant feedback, then canceled everything and destroyed 46 of the 55 cars. Jay got his directly from Chrysler, making him the first and only owner. When the engine seized years later, with 0 parts available anywhere in the world, he tracked down around 60 engineers from the original 1960s team, most of them over 80, and they rebuilt the entire engine from scratch using 3D metal printing. 1928, Bugatti Type 37. A Supercharged. The modern Bugatti Veyron was named after the man who owned this exact car. Pierre Veyron was a Bugatti test driver, a racing driver, and a member of the French resistance in World War II. He raced this to 3rd place in the 1928 Targa Florio. Jay bought it from the estate of the American Bugatti Club president after he passed away. It still carries the No. 3 badge from the American Bugatti Club, which Dunlap helped found decades ago. The supercharged 1.5-liter, 4-cylinder revs passed 5,000 revolutions per minute. The clutch and brake pedals are so close together that Jay has to wear tiny loafers just to operate them without accidentally pressing both at once. 2017 Ford GT. To buy one, Ford made every applicant fill out a full program. How will you use it? What else do you own? Are you going to flip it? Jay got approved, partly because he already owned the 2005 Ford GT with the same serial number. Matching pairs. Jay Leno's first car was a 1934 Ford pickup truck. He was 16. He bought it himself. Not from his parents, not as a gift. He saved up and bought it. Ford dropped off the actual Le Mans winning car at Jay's garage, still covered in original race dirt, completely unwashed, because they knew he would appreciate it. He did. 1907. White steam car. Before the Doble existed, this was the most sophisticated steam car on Earth. The US Army bought more whites than every other vehicle combined. They were the first vehicles used at the White House, which means this car's relatives have carried presidents and Jay Leno. Unlike a Stanley steamer which burns through water constantly, the white recycles the same water through a condenser repeatedly. You could get 300 miles from a tank on a cold day. Jay blew the engine up filming a video, manufactured entirely new parts from scratch, and got it running again. Top speed is 50 miles per hour. He warns you that 50 feels genuinely terrifying in this thing. 1906 Advanced Steam Traction Engine, 13 tons, 9.5 feet tall, 104 inches wide, no brakes whatsoever. To stop it, you put it into reverse and hope for the best. 2 people needed at all times. It was ordered in 1905 by a Minnesota man clearing timber for US Navy lumber contracts. During World War I, it was hidden deep in the woods to stop scrap metal collectors from taking it. It was parked for good in 1950 and was badly deteriorated when Jay's friend Orman Rawlings restored it, pouring 87 pounds of bearing babbitt into the bearing caps alone. 1970 Mazda Cosmo 110S. This car was originally owned by a U-2 spy plane pilot stationed in Japan who brought it back to America. Someone bought it from him. Jay bought it from that someone, then completely rebuilt it. The Cosmo was the first production Mazda with a rotary engine. Jay tried fitting a 13B rotary for more power, but it was literally this much too short on space. So he went with the 12A twin rotor from an early RX-7, built a new exhaust from scratch, and fitted a Mazda 5-speed. It revs to 9,500 revolutions per minute, and there are believed to be only 3 Cosmos in the entire United States. 1932 Packard Twin 6. The first real collector car Jay ever bought came from Phil Hill, the first American to win the Formula One World Championship. The 12-cylinder engine runs so smoothly and quietly, you forget it is on. Jay drove this almost daily for a period, and still considers it one of the most reliable classics he owns. One Packard Twin 6 bought from a Formula One World Champion somehow led to 180 cars and 160 motorcycles. This is where it all started. Phil Hill had no idea what he was starting. 2004 Porsche Carrera GT, 191 miles per hour. That is where Jay spun out in this car at Talladega. He lifted his foot off the throttle a fraction too quickly, coming down the back straight. Rear end came around. Spun multiple times down the center of the track. Flat spotted all 4 tires. Did not hit anything. Drove back to the pits completely fine. Most people would have sold the car immediately. Jay kept it and still drives it today. When Paul Walker's crash happened years later, lawyers called Jay to testify against Porsche. He testified in Porsche's favor and said it was driver error. Only 1,270 were made. His has the original terracotta interior and balsa wood shift knob. 2014 McLaren P1. First one delivered to the United States. Volcanic yellow. Jay drove it immediately and put 800 miles on it within a few days, which is either impressive dedication or a mild addiction. Possibly both. 903 combined horsepower from a twin-turbo V8 and electric motor. 0 to 60 under 3 seconds. In race mode, suspension drops 50 millimeters and the rear wing extends 300 millimeters. 1932 Duesenberg SJ Murphy convertible. Only 38 supercharged SJ models were ever built. Every single one was custom made and not 2 were identical. The supercharged straight 8 produced 320 horsepower. Chassis alone cost $10,000 when a regular car was $500. Jay drives his and talks about it with the same energy he uses for cars built last year. 1940 Lagonda V12. An American opera singer founded the company. W.O. Bentley, after losing his own company to Rolls-Royce in one of history's most painful business deals, joined Lagonda and built a V12 engine in 5 months that placed 3rd and 4th at Le Mans in 1939. 5 months. Most manufacturers take 5 years and still miss the podium. Jay has owned his for nearly 30 years. 4 carburetors, twin overhead cams, 4.5 liters, 220 horsepower. He says all he ever does is change the oil. 1913 Mercer Type 35 J Raceabout. You've heard of Ferrari and Lamborghini, but in 1913, the Mercer Type 35 J Raceabout was America's version of a supercar, and back in the 1960s, someone paid $45,000 for it at auction, which was more than a Duesenberg at the time. which sold for $20,000 to $25,000. Jay calls it one of the greatest American cars ever made. Built in New Jersey, it was painted yellow and black, possibly to match Princeton University's colors, since rich dads bought these for their sons heading there. It uses a T-head engine with splash lubrication, a 4-speed transmission, and no tachometer. Still, it can hit nearly 100 miles per hour. Jay even says, "This was the Ferrari Enzo of its day." Mercer only made about 5,000 cars, and very few Raceabouts are left. Thankfully, Jay's got one. In fact, he owns one of the company's 1913 Raceabout cars. 1931. Bugatti Type 51. Louis Chiron raced this car and then owned it. The same Chiron that Bugatti named their modern hypercar after 100 years later. The car that started the name and went on a $3 million hypercar is sitting in Jay's garage in Burbank. After Chiron sold it in 1936, it got a new body styled after the Type 57 SC Atlantic. The body and chassis were then separated for nearly 50 years before being reunited and restored in 2000. 1967. Lamborghini Miura P400. The amount paid by Jay Leno for this was $0. Dean Martin gave one to his son Dino to drive to school. Dino blew the engine. Getting Lamborghini parts in the 1960s meant speaking Italian and personally knowing someone in Italy. Nobody could fix it. The family sold it for nothing. A friend of Jay's bought it, also failed completely, and his wife finally said, "Just give it to Leno. He likes that old junk." Jay restored it and drives it regularly. 1928. Bentley Speed 6 gurney nutting coupe. There is exactly one of these. One. And it may or may not have beaten a train across Europe in 1930. Wolf Barnato raced the blue train on a bet. Historians say it was probably his other Bentley that did the race. His daughter insisted until she died that it was this one. The famous painting of the race shows this car. At some point, the legend becomes the story, and the story becomes the car. Jay drove it through LA traffic and said at 60 miles per hour it feels 20 years ahead of its time. 2010, Koenigsegg CCXR Trivita. 3 were made. Christian von Koenigsegg delivered Jay's personally, which is the automotive equivalent of the chef coming out to serve your meal, except the meal costs $5 million. The carbon fiber body has a diamond finish requiring an entirely new manufacturing process Koenigsegg invented specifically for this car. No other vehicle on Earth has it. Twin supercharged V8 on biofuel, 1,018 horsepower, Bugatti Veyron power at almost half the weight. It passed 18 individual crash tests to become road legal in the United States. Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Gullwing. Jay found this in a container baking in the California desert with no engine and no transmission. Restored with candy apple red paint by House of Color, interior by Tony Nancy, all original gauges kept. The 3.0-liter engine with direct fuel injection produces 220 horsepower and pushes to 150 miles per hour. Elvis and Sinatra owned one. The gullwing doors were not a styling choice, but the only option because the chassis sills were too wide for normal doors. Jay also owns the oldest surviving gullwing race car, an aluminum-bodied W194 from 1952. He has 2 of these. 2026 McLaren W1. Jay watched this get revealed on his own show and put a deposit down before the episode finished airing. Only 399 will ever be made. Twin turbo V8 hybrid, 1,258 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 2.7 seconds. The active longtail at the rear generates up to 1,000 kilograms of downforce in race mode, 5 times more than normal mode. The engineer flew in personally to walk Jay through the prototype. Jay sat inside and said the science reminded him of exactly why he has always loved this brand. 1934. Duesenberg Walker Coupe. This car has had 4 owners. Josiah Lilly built it, got rid of it after a year because people were throwing rocks at it during the Depression. A Tammany Hall politician's mistress drove it from New York to Canada and took it to Europe. A gas station owner used it as a literal tow truck, dragging broken cars off the highway with a hook attached to the back, then left it rotting outside for 15 years. Jay paid $500,000 for it, spent another $500,000 restoring it, took it to Pebble Beach where it ran for the very first time on the morning of the show, won Most Elegant Car, took second place overall, then drove it home through LA rush hour. Jay calls it a blade of a knife. After everything this car survived, it earned that description. The McLaren F1, the 300 SL Gullwing, and the Duesenberg Walker Coupe alone are worth around $50 million combined. He built this by working 2 jobs, banking 1, and never once spending his Tonight Show money. Joan Rivers told him there will be a day they stop calling, so keep working. The only brand Jay Leno isn't interested in is Ferrari. Not because of the cars, but because of the way the company treats customers. As he put it, "You're spending a tremendous amount of money. You should feel like a customer." This was 25 cars. Jay has 180. Subscribe for part 2, because this garage only gets more interesting from here.